The impact of culture on learning styles. Learning styles refer to the various ways in which individuals process and retain information. These styles can vary widely from person to person, and several factors influence them, including cognitive preferences, experiences, and even cultural background. Culture plays a pivotal role in shaping learning styles, as it affects the values, communication patterns, and educational norms that individuals are exposed to from an early age. This essay explores how culture can influence learning styles, discussing how cultural differences impact cognitive processing, social learning, communication preferences, and educational practices. Cognitive processing and cultural frameworks. Cognitive processing, or the way individuals perceive and make sense of information, is closely tied to cultural background. Different cultures emphasize various cognitive styles, which can influence how people approach learning. For example, in Western cultures, education often prioritizes individualism and critical thinking. Students are typically encouraged to analyze, critique, and challenge ideas independently, which can lead to the development of an analytical and abstract learning style. On the other hand, in many Eastern cultures, education tends to focus on collectivism, respect for authority, and rote memorization, which fosters a more holistic, context-based approach to learning. In cultures that value group harmony, such as many East Asian cultures, students may prefer collaborative learning environments, where group discussions and cooperative problem-solving are emphasized. Conversely, in individualistic cultures, students may feel more comfortable in settings where they can work independently and take ownership of their learning process. These cultural differences in cognitive processing can significantly affect how learners engage with material, choose problem-solving strategies, and interact with instructors and peers. Communication and social learning preferences. Culture also shapes how individuals communicate and learn from others. In some cultures, communication is indirect, and individuals may rely more heavily on nonverbal cues, context, and subtle expressions to convey meaning. This can affect the way learners process verbal and written information. For example, in high-context cultures, such as Japan or Saudi Arabia, learners may expect teachers to provide implicit, nuanced instruction and may avoid direct confrontation or disagreement. In contrast, low-context cultures, such as the United States or Germany, encourage direct, explicit communication and value open dialogue. These communication patterns can influence learning styles by shaping how students prefer to receive and respond to instruction. In high-context cultures, students may be more comfortable with learning environments that emphasize listening and observation, where they can absorb knowledge through implicit guidance. In low-context cultures, students may prefer active engagement with the instructor through direct questioning and verbal participation, fostering a more interactive and discursive learning style. Additionally, many cultures have a strong emphasis on social learning, learning through observation and interaction with others. For example, in collectivist cultures, learning is often seen as a communal activity, and students are encouraged to learn through shared experiences. This collaborative approach can lead to the development of cooperative learning styles, where group dynamics and peer interaction are central to the learning process. In contrast, in cultures that prioritize individual achievement, students may develop more independent learning styles, where solitary study and self-reliance are emphasized. The role of educational norms and practices. Cultural norms and values also influence the formal educational practices that shape learning styles. In many cultures, the education system is designed with specific cultural assumptions about how knowledge is acquired and who is responsible for teaching it. For instance, in cultures with a strong hierarchical structure, such as in many parts of the Middle East or South Asia, students may expect teachers to take on an authoritative role and deliver knowledge in a structured, top-down manner. This can create a more passive learning style, where students are expected to listen and absorb information rather than actively engage with the material or the teacher. In contrast, in cultures with more egalitarian educational systems, such as in Scandinavia or parts of North America, the teacher-student relationship is more collaborative. Students in these environments are often encouraged to question ideas, participate in discussions, and take an active role in shaping their learning experience. This promotes more active learning styles, where students are encouraged to engage critically with the content and their peers. Furthermore, cultural attitudes toward failure and success can influence learning styles. In cultures that emphasize the importance of achievement and competition, such as in the United States, students may develop a learning style that is performance-oriented, where they strive to meet high standards and avoid mistakes. In cultures where failure is seen as a natural part of the learning process, such as in some parts of East Asia, students may develop a more resilient learning style, where mistakes are viewed as opportunities for growth rather than setbacks. Technology and cultural influence on learning styles. In recent years, the integration of technology into education has further highlighted cultural differences in learning styles. Digital platforms and tools offer opportunities for personalized learning, but the way in which these technologies are used can vary significantly across cultures. For example, in cultures where education is highly structured and teacher-centered, students may use technology primarily as a tool for accessing information, rather than as a medium for interactive or collaborative learning. In contrast, in more student-centered cultures, technology may be used to facilitate collaboration, creativity, and self-directed learning. Moreover, cultural differences in technology access and usage can shape learning preferences. In cultures where technology is deeply integrated into daily life, such as in South Korea or Finland, students may feel more comfortable using digital tools for learning, which can promote a more flexible and autonomous learning style. However, in cultures where technology is less pervasive, students may prefer traditional methods of learning, such as face-to-face instruction or paper-based materials. Conclusion. In conclusion, culture plays a critical role in shaping learning styles by influencing cognitive processes, communication preferences, social learning dynamics, and educational practices. The way individuals approach learning is not only a reflection of their personal preferences but also of the cultural context in which they are situated. As the world becomes more interconnected, it is essential for educators to recognize the impact of culture on learning styles and adapt their teaching methods to accommodate diverse learning preferences. Understanding and addressing cultural influences on learning styles can help create more inclusive, effective, and equitable educational experiences for all students.